Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm really keeping up with the whole daily YouTube video thing. Wow, I didn't really think that I would be here again this early in the day. It's like 2 p.m. I think. Yeah, and I filmed the video I posted yesterday at 6 p.m. So this is very consistent. I'm just going to jump straight into this video. I want to talk about something that I will be doing. I will be coming off Cerazette today after 5 months of being on it. I'm just going to talk about my whole history with being on any form of hormonal drug and kind of like how I reacted to all of those drugs. And then I'll also be talking about my experience on Cerazette and why I decided to come off it after 5 months. Didn't really think this would be happening, but yeah, it was a really hard decision to make, but here we are. I've been on emergency contraception, LO1. The first time I ever did LO1 was crazy. That made me really paranoid. And while I took it, I was with someone and I thought that they were going to kill me. Yeah, like it wasn't just like a thought, like I believed that they were going to harm me. I don't know how that happened, but yeah, I guess it just skyrocketed any anxiety I had, and it just made me really paranoid. And that lasted for like maybe 2 hours, and then I slowly started feeling normal again. But that was a wild experience. I was just, oh my god, like I didn't know what was happening to my body. So that was LO1. Yeah, I was paranoid that someone was gonna literally end my life. And yeah, I just felt like anxious and I felt really like amped up and just it was weird. It was like being coked up but also really paranoid. That was LO1. And then I've also been on like your regular plan B, which I think that's just levonorgestrel. And yeah, it has different ingredients from what's in LO1. That was fine. I didn't experience any psychological effects, but I did experience my boobies. My boobs were huge on that. Like, oh my god, like they just, yeah, they were huge and obviously sore, painful. And what else? Yeah, nothing too dramatic. It was just like my boobs really sore and like swollen. And yeah, I felt fine for the most part. Plan B. I think those are the only two forms of emergency contraception I've ever tried. And now we're going to go into kind of like your long term contraception. So basically, your combined pill and your mini pill. I decided to get on that and I got prescribed Avrena, which is also known as Rigividon in some other countries. I don't know, but in Ireland it's called Avrena, and it's just your combined pill with estrogen and like your synthetic estrogen and progesterone. I That was one of the worst experiences I've ever had in my life. Truly, till this day, I think about it and it gives me chills. Like it scarred me, and till this day, I don't know. I just I have a very, very negative connotation with doctors and going to the doctor because I just don't. Like, I try to say, like, it's not their fault, but also, but I feel like it is their fault. And especially when you tell them about some of these side effects and they say, like, oh, like, nah, it's all in your head, or yeah, that definitely didn't cause that. It's so heartbreaking when you're experiencing something that's so real. Like, it's real. You know your body more than anyone knows your body. If you're someone who's very in tune with your body, how your body's affected by anything you put in it. I'm just someone like that. Like, I know how I'm affected by food. I know how I'm affected by the vitamins I take. I know how I'm affected by whether like my how I'm sleeping or my stress. Like, I'm very in tune with my body. So when something is off, I know. So when I tell someone that I got a reaction from something and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's not possible." It's just so invalidating, and yeah, I just have negative feelings towards like doctors in general now. But yeah, that was a scary experience. What basically happened was I took it for 4 days. I felt fine. Um, Obviously, like if you've ever looked into hormonal contraception, like you know the risks that come with them. Like like you read the leaflet with all the side effects. Like yes, I was informed about everything before I went on it. Still decided to take the risk, go on it. I took it for 4 days and I was fine. And then on the fourth day or fifth day, I think, yeah, it was on the fourth day, I had basically what you would call an experience of depersonalization. So it was an out of body experience where I I felt like I was just like watching myself from outside myself. Like I was not in my body at all. And yeah, for anyone who's ever experienced depersonalization, it's so stressful on its own, but then you're stressing about whether it's permanent. It's such a it's such a debilitating feeling that you can't even imagine like living in that state. So you just worry about if it's permanent or how long it'll last or when it'll stop. You're just like praying for it to stop, but it's still going on. And yeah, I experienced that. And it hit me when I was in the shower, which was so bad. Like I was in the shower and then it hit me and then I had to get out of the shower. I looked in the mirror and just like looking in the mirror and not like recognizing who was in the mirror because like I wasn't in my body, that just like made it so much worse. And I couldn't even put on clothes. I just ran to my bed and I hid under the covers because basically when I hid and I didn't have to see my body, it kind of like helped just a little bit because like not seeing my body, then I wasn't stressed about the fact that I didn't recognize my own body, kind of thing. So I just like tried to like close my eyes, but closing my eyes didn't help because like when I closed my eyes I felt like I was scared still. Oh, it was this worst experience I've ever had in my life. Like I would not wish that on my worst enemy. I would not. Really. It was horrific. And man, like an experience like that just gives you more empathy for people who experience stuff like whether it's like psychosis, people who have mental illnesses, um, where they experience stuff like this, or people who even live with depersonalization. I can't imagine being stuck like that for days, weeks, months. Like it's horrific, truly. Like if there's one thing I learned from that experience, it's that I just have so much empathy for people who deal with mental illnesses that come with that. But anyway, mine did not last for long. It lasted for like kind of like that peak of being too like terrified to even like get up and see my body. Like I couldn't get up to pee because anytime I would get up, I would panic. So I like peed in a cup that was next to my bed. I couldn't get up to brush my teeth. I just tried to like brush my teeth next to my bed. It was horrible. And luckily it happened at night, so I didn't have to like go anywhere or do anything. But by the time I woke up the next morning, I wasn't panicking as much, but I still felt like disconnected from my body. And then I stopped. I was not going to keep taking that. Like, no way. I threw the pills away. And after like a couple of days, slowly started feeling normal. And something like very important that happened at the same time is when I was going through it, I was like trying to reach out to people, like texting people or trying to like call people just to like for support because I was just in like a terrible place. And I remember, like, even after it happened, I was seeking support from someone that I really loved, and they basically just invalidated the whole thing, and they didn't really care. And I was like, wow, like, it really showed me that like that person did not care about me. And yeah, it was painful, but like, looking back, I wish like I had just like cut that person off at that point fully, because that was all I needed to know. Like, through that, I learned like, wow, this person just didn't care about me, because I talked to other people about the experience and they were more empathetic, but this one person just did not care. But anyway, those are my experiences prior to Cerazette, and now we're going to just like get into the meat and potatoes of this video. After I was scarred from that experience, I was like, I don't think I'm ever gonna mess with my hormones ever again. Like, that was enough for me. But then I did more research and I learned about like the mini pill, and I learned that because it only has progesterone, it doesn't basically work the same way as something that's combined with both estrogen and progesterone. Oh, before I get into that, let me not get ahead of myself. I have one more experience to share. So maybe I'll divide this into two videos. And one segment will be about like my history on like hormonal contraception, and the one segment would be about like the Cerazette experience. Maybe that would make more sense. But that was my experience on Overina, and I was just really scarred, so I took a break from all of that. And then I revisited all of that like a few months later, because I still wanted to be on some form of contraception, for two main reasons: contraception and my heavy periods. Those are the two reasons. Yeah, my period is just like like horrible, really. It's not the worst, but I bleed so much, like clots, bleeding. I have to use the maternity pads that people use after pregnancy because like I just lose so much blood that like regular pads can't hold the amount of blood I lose. So I was like, this is just ridiculous. Like, it has to end at some point. So that really pushed me to want to be on contraception as well, and also like contraception. But so I decided to revisit after that experience, and I thought, maybe that was just like a bad reaction because it was my first time on it, and I thought maybe if I use it the second time, I won't have a reaction like that. So I decided to try a different pill, Yasmin. You've probably heard of this if you are knowledgeable, if you have any knowledge on this stuff. So I decided to go on Yasmin. And yeah, again, I did my research, and I was informed about all the side effects. And then I went on it. I did not last 2 days, but I didn't last 2 days. I took one pill, and after that, I was like, enough. Like, I had like the 6 month prescription. I threw the 6 packs away. I could not do it. I can't even explain the feeling I had. Luckily, it wasn't depersonalization. It wasn't as extreme as that, but it was less psychological, more just physiological. When I tell you my heart rate spiked, I felt like my blood pressure spiked. I was overheating. I felt not paranoid, but like on edge. Like, yeah, it was like a different kind of anxiety. I just felt like really on edge. I was so hot that like the air, like as I was breathing, like feeling like the air like go in and like go out. Like, it was so hot. Like, I was breathing hot air. It was so bad. And I just felt like overly wired. I felt so like out of my body. Oh my God, it was bad. It was, yeah. Ugh, just thinking about it gives me chills, but it was so horrible I couldn't last more than a day. So after that experience, I just threw it away. And then I also did more research on it because I was thinking, how can this make me feel this terrible? after only one pill. Like, what's in this? So I was just doing more and more research, and then especially with like the fact that like my heart rate like skyrocketed, I was like, this is not normal. And after doing my research, I saw that like one of the things I came across was Yasmin deaths. And I was like, what do you mean by Yasmin deaths? Apparently, this pill is basically like, I would say like it's the most dangerous one in terms of like your likelihood of dying from whether it's like a pulmonary embolism or whether it's like a stroke like you get in your brain. So basically, with the combined pill, because of the estrogen, you're more likely to develop a blood clot, and if you could develop a clot in your leg, and it could travel up to your lungs and then kill you. Basically, like you can't breathe and then you just die, or it could give you like a stroke in your brain, or like you could even get like a stroke in your eye or something. But and that's a risk that everyone is aware of, and some people just choose to take the risk because they gain a lot from being on these contraceptives. So I was doing my research on this, and I saw Yasmin deaths, and I was reading so many stories of people who've just died from this, and I thought, wow, the doctors really don't give a. They don't even warn you about like my appointment was so short. I went in, the doctor just prescribed it to me and like told me to like have a good day. Did not get warned about, like, just so you know, like the blood clot risk here is like higher than in like some other pills. Just like nothing. And I felt so sad because like after I like threw them, I was like, wow, like these doctors don't care about you. Like, it just really made me sad, because and it made me like lose faith in medicine and doctors in general. But yeah, that was done, and I thought like, I don't like, what else would I want to try? Like, I'm very like against putting anything in my body. The thing I like about the pills is control, right? So if I experience any like negative side effects, I could just stop taking them. I'm not stuck like that indefinitely. With something that's in your body, you're stuck like that until you can get a medical professional to remove it from you. So that's why I'm against implants. And then also like, if stuff is implanted in the uterus, like risk of like perforation, that just terrifies me as well. But there's so many things to it. So that was my 1 day experience on Yasmin, and it was horrific as well. So I just told myself, you know what? Since, yeah, the pills are the only thing I'm comfortable with, and I can't do any combined pills. Like, the blood clot risk is just, I can be a statistic. I don't think it's worth me losing my life just so I have easier periods, and also, I guess, like a better form of contraception. Like, my life is not that worthless. So I was like, no more combined pills. The only other option is the mini pill, and that brings us to where we're at today with Cerazette. Cerazette is a progestin only pill, which means it doesn't have estrogen, so that blood clot risk is just not really there. Like, apparently there's still a risk, but it's so low. It's much lower than the blood clot risk from the combined pill. So I decided to just think about Cerazette. I thought, you know what? The combined pills haven't been working. Maybe I'll just do this, and hopefully like this will be it for me. And sadly, 5 months later after being on it, it just, I can't do it anymore. The side effects will never be as bad as, what I experienced on the combined pill. I haven't experienced any like crazy psychological effects, like nothing intense, which is like great. But the side effects are just, there's so many, and they make my life so much harder than it needs to be, and I physically just can't cope anymore, and I just have to stop it. And it's such a hard decision, because I really wanted it to work, and I told myself that I would just like be on it for like as long as I can. Like, that was my plan. I just wanted to stick it out, like regardless of how much I didn't like the side effects, which is why I've been on it for 5 months. Like I'm almost through my last pack, and I was thinking of booking an appointment to get another 6 months worth of it. Like that's how committed I was to like making it work. But I just know that I can't go on like this.